The relationship between China and the United States really dated back to Richard Nixon, who visited in 1972. But the formal diplomatic relationship was established only in 1979, which is exactly 40 years ago. So this month is the 40th anniversary. And since then, of course, the economic relationship has developed a great deal. Today, the trade amount is about $500 billion.
But what do you think is misunderstood by Americans when it comes to China, in terms of how China is negotiating with us now?
Well, I think there's a misunderstanding on both sides. From the American side, I think most economists recognize that trade is better than no trade. More trade is better than less trade. Trade war hurts everybody. And that's why yesterday, when there was news that they may lessen up on this trade war, the stock market shot up. And from the Chinese side, I think there should be a recognition that the market needs to be more open, should open up more to American imports, because the trade imbalance is not sustainable.
But who's got the leverage in this negotiation right now, in your mind?
At this particular point, it really depends. Because at this particular point, the Chinese economy is relatively weak. The sentiment is weak, even though last year economic growth rate was 6.6%. And the American economy is very hot. The stock market is pretty hot. But we all know that American economy goes into cycles. And we're probably at the peak of the cycle. The next phase is probably going to be down. And if you look at China in the past 40 years, it has not gone into a recession, ever. And there are some special characteristics about the Chinese economy. So at this point, I think America is in quite strong bargaining position.
But it sounds like you think if we wait, that the Chinese will eventually get the other hand. Do you think that is the feeling of the Chinese negotiators? And do you think that there is a lot of patience in terms of being able to wait that out?
I think the Chinese side would like to get this resolved as quickly as possible. But I also think that their pain threshold is higher. I think you need to recognize that even though there's large trade deficit, the trade relationship is beneficial to the United States. Every $100 exports that China does to the United States, 56 cents, $56 goes to American companies, American workers, according to the San Francisco Fed, reported by the Washington Post just 2 days ago.
If you were to handicap the situation, there's an expectation in the marketplace right now that something will happen in a positive way by March 1st. Would you handicap it in the same way?
It's very hard to predict, but I'm cautiously optimistic that they will come to some kind of solution. I don't know if the solution will be permanent, but I think there's probably a longer ceasefire come March 1st.